Carla, and welcome back to the studio. And thank you for joining me for another episode of the monthly Christmas card inspiration. So, this is the 1st of February of 2024. So, for our Christmas card inspiration, I am going with the Decorated with Happiness bundle. It's a photopolymer stamp set along with some coordinating dies. So for my first card, I have an 11 by 4¼ inch piece of Poppy Parade, and this is scored at 5.5. I have a piece of the Celebrate Everything DSP, that's 4¼ by 2 inches. And this paper, it was, I believe, a host pack of paper in our holiday mini. I think maybe like last year, not last year, the year before. I think in 2022. So this was a really, really big pack of paper and just very bright and colorful, and a lot of images on this paper that you can use throughout the year. I didn't create a DSP reference sheet for that. It would have been easier to show that, but I didn't get one made for that. So that's where this DSP comes from. So again, this piece measures 4¼ by 2. And then I have 2 more pieces of that DSP. And each one of these measures 2¼ by 1 7/8. I have a piece of basic white that measures 3¼ by 2.5. And then I have a 2¼ by 1¾ inch scrap of polished pink cardstock. And I had add some adhesive sheet to the back of that. So I'm going to start off with folding and burnishing my card. Now these cards, what I do on the 1st of the month is I do these monthly inspirations for Christmas cards for those of you who would like to do your Christmas cards throughout the year. So I am actually doing, I can't get this to fold. I want it to be even, and it doesn't want to go. So in person here, if you're local to me in Memphis, I do have a monthly Christmas card club. This is geared towards those who would like to make their Christmas cards throughout the year. So if you want to make a lot of them, the idea behind it is to do a little bit each month. And my first get together will be this coming Saturday, February 3rd. So if this is something that you are interested in, my email is down below in the description of this video. Reach out to me and I will give you all the details. Okay, so I have scored and burnished well, no, I didn't score. I folded and I burnished my card base. Words are hard when the camera's rolling, guys. Okay, so I'm going to take this piece of the DSP and I'm going to bring in my glue and add some glue to this. And then I'm going to center this, or try to center it, give or take. I'm going to line it up to the edge, go straight across. Okay. And then the 2 pieces that have the ornaments on it, so based on how I cut it this way. I'm going to add some glue to this piece. And I'm going to add that right over here. Oops, shift. Just layer that over. And then I'm going to add some glue to this other one. And I'm going to place that down here. Just kind of eyeballing to have it the same distance from the bottom and the side as I did with the top one. Move this over just a little bit. Get that down. Okay, so let me set that aside. I'm going to bring in my piece of basic white and my scratch paper, and let me close up this glue because we're actually done with this glue. And I'm going to bring in my evergreen branch piece, and the ink that I'm using for this card is Shaded Spruce and Pacific Point. So what I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to bring in my greeting that says, wishing you a season decorated with happiness and wonder. And I'm going to ink that up in my Pacific Point. And I'm going to stamp this in the lower left-hand corner. And hopefully I got it straight. It's not too bad. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in a Shaded Spruce. I'm going to ink up this branch. I'm really just looking for the greenery part of it rather than the branch. And I'm going to stamp this up near the top here. So most of it's not going to be on this, but I just want some on here. Okay. So we're done with our stamping. Move the ink out of the way. Okay. Then I'm going to take some dimensionals. Let me get another sheet here. And I'm going to add some on the back of this. So the whole idea of doing these monthly Christmas card inspirations, like I said, is to give you ideas if you want to create your Christmas cards throughout the year. So the cards that I create, they're fairly easy, simple, duplicatable cards. They have some nice detail to them, but they're not overly detailed where they would take a really long time to create. So I'm going to take this piece here and I'm going to center that like so. And I'll set that aside. Now for this piece of polished pink, I'm going to bring in this ornament, this detailed ornament, and that comes from the coordinating dies with the stamp set. So I'm going to bring out my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and I will be right back. Okay, so let me bring in my card base and I'm going to remove the paper backing from the adhesive sheet off of this. Get a little bit more over here. Okay, and then I'm going to adhere this right here. Just stick that down. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my Wink of Stella, and I'm going to go over just the pink part, trying not to get any in between the pieces here of this ornament. I just want it on the ornament itself. Okay. Then I'm going to bring in my Parakeet Party metallic woven ribbon, and I'm going to tie myself a bow. Now I didn't use Parakeet Party in this card, but this color is a little bit darker and it's really close to the garden green that's in it. It's in the paper. Okay. And then I'm going to bring in my glue dots and my Take Your Pick tool. And I'm going to add one right into this top piece of this ornament. Remove the paper backing. And let's see, let's put the knot right there into the glue dot. And then I'm going to trim the tails. So put that aside. And then I'm also going to bring in, do a little bit more embellishment. I'm going to bring in the adhesive backed snowflakes. Now there's two sheets to this. There's one that's more translucent and you can see through it, and then there's ones that are more white with the iridescent on it. So I'm going to use the ones that are the white ones, and I'm going to add a few of these onto my card. Come on. And then we'll add one more right down there. Okay, so that is our first card. On to our second. Okay, so for my second card, I have a piece of basic white thick. This measures 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. I have another piece of that Celebrate Everything DSP. This measures 5.25 by 4, and this is actually the other side of that green we used on our first card. I have a piece of Bermuda Bay. This measures 5.25 by 1.75. I have a piece of Coastal Cabana. This is 2.75 by 2.75. I have a piece of Basic White. This is 1.5 by 1.5. And then I have a 2.5 by 1.5 inch scrap of Lemon Lime Twist. So I'm going to start off and I'm going to fold and burnish my card base. Okay. And then I'm going to take my DSP, bring in my glue, and I'm going to add some to the back of this. And then I'm going to add it to, I am really struggling when it comes to getting these folded straight. I don't know what's up. I like my card bases fold it straight. I don't like all wonky, but it seems like it wants to be wonky on me. Alright, so let me take this piece, and I'm going to center that on my card base. Press that down. So we're doing the black and white with the pop of the aquas and a little bit of green. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my Bermuda Bay piece. Add some glue to that. And then I'm going to place this, lining it up with the edge of the DSP. Move this up, scooch it up just a teeny tiny bit. Okay, we'll press that down. Okay, now for my Coastal Cabana piece, I am going to use the Wintry 3D embossing folder, so I'm going to use this evergreen one here. So I'll set that aside. For this lemon lime piece, I'm going to bring in another one of those detail dies. This time I'm going to bring in the bell. So I will die cut that. I'll set that aside. Now on this basic white piece, I'm going to stamp my greeting. Now I'm going to bring in my silicone craft sheet just so I can see this piece of white a little bit easier. So I have, this is my pretty peacock ink, and let me open it back up, and then I'm going to stamp the greeting that says Boughs of Jolly, and I'm going to center that and stamp that. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. That's the only stamping that we're doing for this card. Okay, I'm going to close up my glue for the time being. Set this aside. And now I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I'm going to do my embossing and die cutting, and I will be right back. Okay, so let me bring in my pieces. So I'm going to take this piece of Coastal Cabana that I embossed. I'm going to add some glue to the back of this. This is the Tombow multi-purpose glue that is in our annual catalog. I just put it in a fine tip glue bottle that I got on Amazon. I do have a link to it in the description of the video. So I'm going to add this piece right here. So I'm not in the middle, I'm down further and close to the edge of that DSP. Make sure that that's straight. Okay, and then I'm going to well, actually I can close up the glue. Let's close it up so it doesn't get all clogged up like it did to me on my live last Friday. So for the Boughs of Jolly, I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Dimensionals. And I'm going to just add 2 of them on here. Okay, and I'm going to center that on my Coastal Cabana. So, and then for my bell, I'm going to remove the paper backing off of this. I find it's easier when you got a detailed die like this to put the adhesive sheet on it rather than adding glue and making a mess. Now the adhesive sheets that I used, these are ones that Stampin' Up! Sold a few years ago that have the Sizzix logo on it. They have since retired and they've come out with their own, but I ended up stocking up on these before they were gone. So I'm still going through that stash of them. So I'm going to take my bell and I'm going to add it up here in this corner of that Coastal Cabana embossed piece. Now, just like I did with the other ornament, I'm going to bring in my Wink of Stella and I'm just going to go over the actual ornament itself, trying to not get it on any of the other cardstock or the DSP. Now, if any gets on there, it's not the end of the world, but I'm avoiding it. We're almost there. Okay. And then I'm going to bring in my Take Your Pick tool and I'm going to add some of these sequins. This is the adhesive back sequins trio, and this is in our annual catalog. And I'm going to use these ones right here are the pretty peacock color. So I'm going to add a larger one right here. And I'm going to take two of the smaller ones and I'm going to add them right here on the piece that has the greeting. Okay, so that is the second card. Okay, so let me move this out of the way and let me bring in my other card. So this was our first one, a pop of the red and the green and some bright colors with the DSP. And then here's our other one, all mostly black, mostly white with some black and a pop of the aquas and the green. So I hope you liked these projects. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. It really does help. And like I mentioned, this goes along with the in-person monthly Christmas card club that I am holding on the first Saturday of each month between February and November. If you are local to me here in Memphis and you are interested in this, my email is below in the description of the video. Just send me an email and let me know that you're interested, and I'll be sure to send out all the details to you. And also in the link, there is in the description, also in this video, there is a link if you would like to sign up for my newsletter. I do send those out near the beginning of each month, and I try to keep it to one a month. But if there's anything that comes up in regards to Stampin' Up! Or anything that I'd like to share with you in between, then there'll be another newsletter that I would send out. But I try not to bombard you with a lot of emails. So again, thank you for joining me. You all have a blessed one. Bye bye.